What's up, everybody? Christian Fowler here with Bluff City Media, joined by the OG for his number 2 camera appearance of his life.
Who does number 2 work for?
It's Kenny Stubblefield for you guys. We are here on the heels of disappointment. I don't. I don't even know what to say. Like, I really don't.
Yeah.
This isn't. I mean, if you listen to what we had to say yesterday, this isn't what we were expecting, and
Not even a little bit.
we weren't incorrect.
Yeah.
Truthfully.
No, I mean I think our analysis that we gave last night was absolutely correct, you know.
I mean, yeah, we said if they played like 75, 80% of the way they played in Fort Worth, they would have no issues winning this game, even up to double digits. And even after the game, even after the loss, I believe that is the truth. Like, if they would have played the way they did last weekend, I don't think this would have been a big test. Like, truthfully, and I really am not trying to disrespect FAU. I know that's what I've been in the inverse of this situation. When you hear reporters talk about, we would have, like, the team that we cover would have won if X, Y, and Z, and they should have won and they were the better team. And, sometimes it's overstated and annoying, but, like, truthfully, if Memphis would have played 75, 80% of the way they played in Fort Worth, they win this game relatively easy. Like, truthfully, they were the more talented team.
I mean, it was pretty obvious, I mean, listen, FAU they played well. They have players. John L. Davis is a beast. He can shoot. You said he wasn't a 7-footer. He's a definitely, from where my vantage point when I came out of, so everybody knows, like, I usually sit on the baseline at games and I'm able to kind of film. Well, in the NCAA tournament, that's not allowed. You can't do that kind of stuff. And so I had to set up this live capture device in the underbelly of the Nationwide Arena just to be able to, like, get some live footage from the game. NCAA is pretty tough when it comes to that kind of stuff. They don't mess around. And so I was watching the game on a 13-inch screen, which was
on your laptop.
On my laptop, which was like I could hear the noise right there. I mean, the game was going on right there, and I'm sitting there on my laptop looking at it like this. It was so annoying.
Yeah.
But anyway, like, I got a chance to go out and see the court a few times, and Golden was a big kid, man. Didn't do much, but he's a big kid.
I don't know if he was a legit footer. But, I mean, regardless, that doesn't matter. Let's get into it a little bit.
Yeah. Real quick, just so you know, if you're commenting, we're seeing them now. We didn't see them yesterday. But
yeah, we're in the right window to where anything that is put in the live chat will pop up on Kenny's screen over here to our left, and we'll be able to see it. So
keep it respectful, guys. But like,
or don't,
We're here.
Who cares?
We're here for it all.
Yeah, like, get out your frustrations. Take them out on us if you need to. We can handle it. We're grown. Or if you have any questions or just comments in general, feel free to throw them in there. But I'll kind of give my 2 cents on the game. So Memphis did not start out hot in any way, shape, or form. They did not play well off the rip. FAU came out looking way better and way
more ready.
Yeah, way less affected by the moment.
Yeah.
Memphis looked a little sped up,
which is so weird.
A little out of sorts. Yeah, especially considering you just played in the conference tournament championship
Played
game.
The number 1 team in the country like 4 days prior to that.
Yeah, and it didn't bother them at all, but they looked like they needed time to settle down. And with about 4 or 5 minutes left in the second half, it did look like they settled down because they got outplayed in the first half. They got outplayed by FAU in the first half for the majority of it, and they go into halftime up by 4. I mean, DeAndre didn't play well in the first half. I think he had 2 points.
Yeah.
Kendrick had 12.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what the score was at halftime.
35-31.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So Kendrick had 12 of the 35 at half. Elijah McCadden played a heck of a first half. I think he had 9 points.
Yeah.
But Memphis goes into the half, and just like a little inside baseball, I walk back to Kenny, and we're talking about the game a little bit before the second half starts, and I'm like, man, I feel like they're finna blow this game open. Like, they just played a terrible half, and they're up by 4 points.
Right.
DeAndre had 2. Like, there's no way he plays a half that bad again. It just felt like to me that Memphis finally got a little bit of rhythm towards the end of the half, and that they were going to just blow it open. And I mean, they controlled the game most of the second half.
Yeah.
They led for most of the second half. I think they went up by as much as 7, 51-44 after Malcolm's dunk.
Yeah.
They went up by 7 with about 9 minutes left. And they just didn't cut the throat.
Kind of played with their food a little bit, right?
Yeah, they just didn't. They didn't put them away. They allowed them to hang around, and then mistakes. Allowing offensive rebounds, allowing 3-point shots. It's like they held FAU at bay, shooting all game until the last 2 minutes. They hit 2 threes, 2
John
big
Davis
threes.
hit
John
2
L. Davis
threes.
hit 2 big threes.
Nice looking shots too.
Really good looking shots. And then let's just talk about the sequence at the end of the game.
Yeah, man.
Because it was
brutal.
It was brutal. I mean, you go up by 1 off of DeAndre's free throws, correct?
Right.
And then they get a stop.
Yeah.
They get the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Or they go? It's okay. I might be wrong. They either went up by 1 or they went up by 3. Maybe they went up by 3. FAU hit a basket. Memphis had the ball up by 1. Whatever. Regardless, they were up by 1 point with the ball with 33 seconds left, 34 seconds left, something like that. Kendrick Davis gets the ball in the inbounds, kind of throws it up. Kenny asked me on the way back to the hotel, was it as bad as Virginia? No, it wasn't as bad as Virginia. I mean, they had a timeout. They could have called a timeout. There's a lot of options that could have happened there.
That was 5 seconds left in the game, that Kendrick Davis turnover. According to the play-by-play on ESPN.
5 seconds left?
So they said, I'll kind of run you through 34 seconds left. DeAndre Williams offensive rebound on
the tip.
Elijah's 3.
The tip in.
Foul on Golden. Kendrick Davis turnover with 5 seconds left. Brandon Weatherspoon still jump ball won by Florida Atlantic. Florida Atlantic timeout. Memphis timeout.
That's not right. There wasn't a steal. They didn't get a steal. You said Brandon Weatherspoon got a steal with 5 seconds left. I guess he did get a steal from Kendrick. But then the foul, or not the foul, the jump ball.
Well, the jump ball was right after that.
Yeah, but I don't think it was 5 seconds when Kendrick turned.
Whichever.
Whatever, regardless.
Doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter in this situation. Anyway, I think everyone probably felt really confident when Memphis had the ball up by 1.
Yeah.
With what I presumed was Kendrick was going to get fouled. At some point in that possession was going to get fouled. Obviously, they go full court press. They trap.
Yeah.
I think Kendrick passed it to Alo. Alo passed it back to Kendrick maybe. Alo goes down the middle of the court. Kendrick gets trapped and kind of just throws it up. They get the steal.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming down the court. I think it was Weatherspoon coming down the court.
Yeah.
Kendrick gets in his way, knocks the ball out. Jaden Hardaway jumps on the ball.
Calls timeout.
He didn't call timeout. Alex and Kendrick. Alex and Kendrick.
DeAndre.
It was Alex and Kendrick were standing over the ball with Jaden holding the ball, calling timeout. They don't get the timeout. They call a jump ball. And, of course, with it being Memphis, the possession arrow is pointing FAU's way. That's when there was 5 seconds left on the clock. Inbounds play. Elijah McCadden, one-on-one coverage at the 3-point line. Guards the line well. He gets taken to the basket. Layup. 2 seconds left. Memphis doesn't even get a shot off.
And that's it.
Brutality.
Yeah, I think DeAndre talked about it in the post game, which will be up in a little bit. But DeAndre talked about it where they had in the huddle had talked about
don't allow a layup.
Don't allow layups, basically. Play off. Don't allow the layups.
Well, not play off, just that they would rather allow a 3 than a layup.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Don't jump at those pump fakes. Don't press up hard. That kind of stuff. Just play off a little bit. But and I think that's what kind of made everybody so mad at the end of that game was, Elijah made a mistake. But I mean, obviously. What was the kid's name that made the shot? What was his
The layup?
The layup? Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Something Nick something. He was little, man. Like you
Yeah.
had to have somebody clogging that lane.
Yeah, I mean Elijah
Like,
had a few inches on him.
yeah,
But let's talk about where it all went downhill, truthfully.
man. What?
So this team has played together all year.
Mhm.
We haven't seen any explosions all year. We haven't had any drama all year that we had over the last couple of years
Mm-hmm.
that we've had to cover over the last couple of years. All year long.
The entire year.
And with 4 or 5 minutes left
Mm-hmm.
in the biggest game of the entire year, Kendrick gets the ball.
What even happened? Like, what happened?
I mean, Kendrick has the ball. He shoots a relatively deep three. I
Right.
mean, when the ball goes up, I'm looking at the ball, so I don't know. And they did not show many replays.
Right.
That's why I'm so like kind of off on what happened overall.
Yeah, because they didn't show replays.
Because they didn't show replays really in the arena, and I'm used to always seeing constant replays.
Right.
And they just didn't show any. So I don't know if he landed on the defender's foot. I don't know if he landed on the ground and twisted his ankle. I have no idea, but he was clearly down in a lot of pain. I mean, as soon as he hit the ground, he screamed. I think he smacked the floor. Eventually, FAU gets the ball, stop possession. Kendrick gets up, slams the ground. I mean, he's going to the bench screaming.
You could hear him.
I heard him on the court, like on the other. We were sitting on the other side of the floor, and I could hear him screaming. And I was like, "Oh man!" I mean, it was bad. And then they called the timeout, or there was a timeout on the floor.
Yeah.
And the rest of the team comes over, and he's going at Malcolm Dandridge, straight at Malcolm Dandridge.
Haven't seen that. Haven't seen anything like that in a while.
Yeah,
like,
and then it just sparked like a chain reaction of pissed offness. Just like everybody was pissed. Like Frank Haith was
screaming,
was pissed, and I think Alex and Jaden were going at each other a little bit. Like it was just like a collapse in front of us.
It was a wild scene on that bench during.
As soon as it happened, I'm just looking around like, oh my goodness, like that's it. Like they just fell apart.
Yeah.
And it's so hard in the emotional moment of a game to get that back on track.
Yeah, that one felt like it. That moment. It's been described even in the locker room post game that it's just competitive guys being competitive, and that one felt a little different to me. We've seen that before, competitive guys being competitive. That one felt like that derailed the game. Like that conflict felt like it kind of derailed the game.
I mean, they still had a chance to win at the end.
1,000%, yeah. But it like the mental, like it felt like it just deeply impacted the mental.
There was just like a dark cloud over it from that point on, because it wasn't just Kendrick and Malcolm that got angry at each other. It was like literally like a chain reaction, just like boom, boom, boom down the line.
Yeah.
And that is so unfortunate, man. They have kept it together all year.
Yeah.
They've been a team all year. And we don't know. We don't know the situation. I mean, it could have been a competitive thing, but it didn't appear like it. Had just appeared like there was so much tension.
Yeah.
For the entire game, and then just like a rubber band, it just snapped with only a few minutes left.
What we've known about Penny over the last few years is that when he feels a certain way about players on his team, or the attitude and the aura of his team, he is absolutely willing to call it out in the media. And he did it a lot last year, has not done it this year, and has been very vocal about the love that he has for this team. And like you've said from the beginning, like we've never seen anything like that level of tension. And so we could easily chalk it up to this was just a competitive environment, that kind of deal, but it just felt a little different. It did. I'm just being honest. Like it just felt a little different. And I know that it very clearly was something that was on the minds of players and coaches in the locker room after, it was definitely talked about. But somebody asked on the chat, and I wanted to get your thoughts on this. Does that situation, and even ultimately the loss of the game, tarnish
the season?
the season legacy of KD in Memphis?
That's a tough question. Penny was asked this after the game, and I don't know. I think Kendrick and Penny were both asked this actually. This might be one of those situations where we need a couple. We need a week or two
Oh, absolutely.
to really decide what it meant. But I mean, at the end of the day, they wanted a national championship. That's what they were playing.
That's what they wanted.
And
dude, it was so there. Like
it was. I mean, I try to be very respectful of teams and stuff because they're working their butts off.
Yeah.
Man, these are college athletes. We're not on that level. We've never been on that level. Like we don't bust it like that.
No.
But the Sweet 16 was free, bro.
It was right
there,
bro.
The Sweet 16 was free. Like, yes, I know Fairleigh Dickinson beat Purdue. They played out of their minds, and Purdue didn't play well. And I kind of hinted at it yesterday. I thought Purdue was fake. They're just a one-man show. Their guards are not good.
And you saw them live and in color today, and I was
not impressed.
Not impressed in the slightest.
Madison Square Garden was free, and I asked you that walking out of the arena. I was like, did Purdue losing hurt this game? You know, like, did it hurt? I know, and I mean, who knows?
It's so difficult to answer that question because we're not in the.
We'll never know.
We don't know the psyche of the play.
But could it have? Who knows?
Well, of course.
Could they have just been like, oh man, we got a 16 seed tomorrow?
Do you know what I told you? You remember what I told you at the beginning of the game? Do you remember what I told you at the beginning of the game? Or right after Purdue lost and we were walking back to the media room, I turned to you and I said, if I'm Penny, I'm in that locker room and I've got the entire team around me and I'm saying this can happen to anyone.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter.
And it does not matter.
Because we ain't there.
We're not
there yet.
We're not the number 1 seed. Like, we're not Purdue.
Yeah. And we can't think about round of 32 yet.
100%. This can happen because I legitimately do believe Tigers walked into that game against FAU and was like, we got this.
Yeah.
Like,
it felt like
we about to beat tail.
It felt like it.
It did.
I don't know. Man,
But this is something, Christian, like, and I know we're not breaking the game down, and I'm sorry, but it's damn near 145 at night. And,
it's 148.
We're still trying to work through it all. But let me just, it just honestly, like, I asked DeAndre, I mentioned this, I kind of alluded to this last night in our pregame for FAU, that I had asked DeAndre at the media availability about, like, the transition from AAC to the NCAA tournament and the level of play in which not only he played with, but the team played with. Like, were you kind of hoping to go straight into it, like straight to the NCAA tournament, like not go back to Memphis, take those 4 days off, all the life's problems that you have at your home, your chick's calling, whatever it may be, your bills are piling, whatever it may be, you get to like just totally lock in. And it felt like, because that was something that I was concerned about, Christian. Like, I was like, this team is playing at such a high level in the AAC tournament that coming home was almost like the worst possible scenario for them.
Yeah, because it's like, how do you recreate that?
You can't.
And there were times in this game where it felt like they were trying too hard to recreate what they did last weekend.
100%.
And you just gotta play the way it is that day. They didn't have the same momentum. Like you said, they come home for 3 or 4 days. You don't have the same momentum you had.
Yeah, man.
It's a different game. It's a different week. It's a different arena. Yeah, I agree. I feel like that definitely had something to do with it. Just feeling like you couldn't be stopped, and then coming this way. Let's get to some questions. It looks like we got some comments over there.
Got a few. I think people are mad at us.
Probably.
Making it sound like the last turnover call was the worst one to the game. At least 2 points were handed to FAU. 10 points handed. I don't know.
You didn't flesh that out very well.
Me?
Yeah, I don't know what you're saying.
I'm just reading what it says. Every time Malcolm dribbled, it was an instant turnover.
Yeah, Malcolm's not known for his ball handling.
Malcolm's ball handling skills aren't the greatest.
No, but come on, man. Malcolm played a good game.
Malcolm played well.
Malcolm was rebounding the ball and blocking shots, and I think he was just in for too many minutes.
Yeah, If anybody's got any questions, we'll be happy to answer them. But
Is the rest comments?
the rest are just straight up. It doesn't tarnish. Memphis said it doesn't tarnish anything. We're not even in the tournament without KD. We won 5 games this year without him. I mean, that's a little overreaction, I think. But
I mean, they wouldn't have been good with that.
No. I know. I think they wouldn't have been good without KD this year. Absolutely, they probably would have won more than 5 games. But I think that they absolutely, just in terms of what KD is expected, and I think. It's just so weird, Christian, because we came into the season not really knowing what to expect from this team.
Not at all.
And we've talked about this for the entire season of just this team is they've just overreached, I guess, on the expectations. They're just better than what we thought that they were going to be. And it's just wild because the talent level on this team is just not as high as the previous teams, but yet this team feels like it's a better all-around team. And that's why you looked at, the Purdue loss prior and, prior to the Tigers playing tonight, and you go, man, the Sweet 16 is in their grasp. And if the Sweet 16 is at play,
it's wide open.
I mean, it's wide open, man. That's wild.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so let's get back to the tarnish stuff. Does it tarnish the season? No, it doesn't tarnish the season.
No,
26-8, great year, AAC tournament champions. But you know what it does do? This will always be, always and forever, when the 2022-2023 team is talked about, it will always be what could have been. Always. Because, like we're saying, the Sweet 16 was free. It was there.
It was there for you.
You win this game. I'm sorry, you're not a 16 teams never won more than one game. It's just,
did you see
the odds say that you are going to win that game favorably. I mean, Purdue was a 22.5 point favorite.
No,
so this 100%. Will always be what could have been.
What if?
Because they could have been a Sweet 16 team, and 100%. Who knows after that? But if this team would have went to the Sweet 16, you wouldn't have anybody say anything about Penny's coaching. You wouldn't have nobody would say anything. It'd be like this team went to the Sweet 16. But
so at the end of the AAC tournament, you wrote an article on bluffcitymedia.co, an insider article. Hello, Columbus.
Somebody getting honked at out there.
You wrote an insider article talking about the slander of Penny and how that needs to stop. Does this game change that for you?
No, not at all. Like I said, you need some distance from this. You need. Sorry, Trey. My guy Trey's texting me.
Trey?
Yeah.
Oh, your guy Trey.
No, Trey Draper. My man's upset right now.
I almost flipped him off on the camera.
My man Trey is upset.
Why is he upset?
Because Memphis lost. What are you talking about?
Trey.
I don't know if he's watching this. He just texted
Love
me.
you, homie.
I really don't know if he's watching it, but he might be. What were we talking about? Penny's legacy from this year. Penny slander. I think Memphis fans are going to need a minute before they can talk about Penny, because as a fan of team, so I'm a big Cowboys fan. Mostly everyone that listens to me knows that. When the Cowboys lose a big game, I'm pissed off at everybody. I'm pissed off at Dak. I'm pissed off at Mike
tonight.
I'm pissed off at Mike McCarthy. I'm pissed off at the whole team.
Mm-hmm.
And you need some time to distance and be like, okay, whatever. It's just, it is what it is. And so tonight's probably not a good night for Memphis fans to talk about Penny Hardaway. But I just don't. I don't blame this game on coaching.
No,
I just don't. Could he have done things differently? Could have. Sure.
Well, of course.
Whatever. That's every game ever. Win, lose, draw, whatever.
Right.
But I just don't think this was on him.
No.
I don't think you can pin this loss on him.
No, not even
he didn't make Kendrick lose it.
No.
He didn't throw a bomb in the middle of the huddle and just say boom and let it, just let it go. Yes, could he have done things better in this game? Yes, but there's not a game Penny Hardaway's ever coached that he would tell you he couldn't have done something better. But do I believe he is the reason they lost this game? No.
Right.
I think the team just didn't play well. DeAndre didn't play well. Kendrick really didn't play well. The refs didn't play well.
God, the refs were. I know. Hey, listen, we don't want to be it's the refs' fault, it's not the refs' fault, but
they were bad.
Damn, dude.
I've never seen so many missed travel calls in my life. But yeah, it was tough. It was tough, and everybody deserves blame in a game like this. But no, I don't think this should reopen the door for Penny Hardaway to be slandered.
A question on the board.
Yeah, what you got?
A question over here was someone asked concerned that that this Penny's tenure has been kind of marked by dysfunction a little bit, and this year felt like a
clean year.
A clean year. There's a little bit of concern on the board on the YouTube comments that this might be just a one-off year, and that's just kind of a part of Penny's MO as a coach, that there's going to be dysfunction. What are your thoughts on that?
We'll see.
Right.
We'll see. You got some bigger recruits coming in next year. You've got
young kids again.
You've got exposure wise from a social media standpoint. You've got the biggest recruit of all time. Yes, LeBron James was more hyped. Mikey's not even like a top 15 player. He is a 5-star, but he's not a top 15 player. But as far as like exposure,
right,
just number wise exposure, you have the biggest high school star ever coming in next year. So it's like, I don't know, Mikey personally, I don't know what his ego's like, but you know, when you got young high school kids that we've always talked about, like when they're brought up being the dude, how do they buy in? You know, he said in post game, he was like, I think I might. It wasn't confirming anything or saying like this is what I'm going to do, but said, yeah, I think having a veteran laden team mixed with young guys, that might be the strategy. And we agree. We both agree that should be the strategy. That's how teams win national championships. Look at the teams that go the furthest in the tournament every year. They have veterans that have been there for 3 or 4 years and or been in college for 3 or 4 years now. I guess it's not out of school for 3 or 4 years anymore because no one stays at one school for that long. And that mixed with extremely talented freshmen. So,
and would you say, I mean, there are some guys that have hit the transfer portal since conference tournaments that would definitely interest me. For the Tiger team next year.
Oh yeah,
we don't have to say names, but obviously
Khalif Battle. That's your guy. Jameer Nelson Jr. Yeah,
those guys would be awesome to have.
What you got over there?
Well, we're being asked if we actually read. Do we read the comments? And I'm like, we're trying. Brian Cruz, we're trying, homie. I got the computer right over here. What do you think of the tech that ended up making the difference in the game? The TCU do. Oh, okay, it's a different one. What do you think of the tech that ended up making the difference in the game?
I didn't.
The Elijah Tech.
The Elijah Tech. Yeah, I didn't like it. Didn't like it at all.
Dumb.
It was bad.
These are kids, man.
Yeah. And it's the NCAA tournament.
NCAA tournament, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Bad call. There's a lot of bad calls tonight.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it was those. I mean, I've seen those refs before.
I don't know if I have.
The real, I
don't think they did any. I think someone said they didn't do any Memphis games this year. Might have been.
No. There was one of them that did.
I think Jason Munz at the commercial appeal said that he didn't think any of these guys did Memphis game this year.
The white ref that had the real coiffed hair. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I've seen him at the games.
Get back on them comments.
My bad. Where do you? Someone's all exclamation. Where do you think Mikey will take us next year? I don't know, man. Listen,
I don't know. It depends what's around him.
Yeah, we're 2 hours out from the game, man. But
that's how it is, man.
No, I feel you.
The game ends and you're on the next season.
Why do the refs in NCAA hate Memphis?
I wish I knew, man.
It feels like
I really like for real. And any fan of any team feels like their team is snake bitten. From an objective standpoint of just someone who heavily indulges in sports, it's like this always happens to Memphis. There's always something that happens to Memphis.
And Penny was sneaky with the way he answered that question tonight in the post game.
Yeah.
He said, I know about this situation. Like, I know what needs to be done. We have to be at least 5 times better in every aspect than the other team that we're facing, or it's over for us.
Yeah.
All you got to do is read between the lines on what he means by that.
Yeah. You don't want to leave it in anyone else's hands.
if all things shake out in the the talent level of the team and what they're doing, he believes Memphis will get screwed.
It kind of felt like it too. Like objective. Just watching the game, it was just like, man, what is going on? Like,
yeah, wild.
Especially the jump ball. Like, for real, I was on the side of the court that it happened on.
Someone on the board someone in the comment just asked if it felt bang bang. Is that not true? The jump ball.
I mean, I'm not a referee,
right?
So I'm not. My eyes aren't trained like that. I do watch a hell of a lot of sports, so you can ask anybody that watches sports with me. I got a pretty good feel for calls in both football and basketball because I watch too many sports. But okay, so just to give you an idea, they're on one end of the court. I'm on the other end of the court on the baseline. I mean, on the sideline, court side, looking down the line. I can tell that Jaden Hardaway clearly has the ball in his hands as timeouts are called.
Right.
I don't know how a ref right on top of that didn't see that. And I'm watching that in real time. I'm not watching a replay. I'm watching it on the court.
Right.
And I as soon as it happened, immediately that's Memphis ball. They caught the timeout. Jaden clearly had both hands on the ball. No FAU defender was touching it yet. And then the FAU defender ultimately comes in and they get the call.
I know that refs have kind of made a transition away from calling timeouts on jump balls specifically for the kind of timeouts. They want to like clean up the game, and this is not a jump ball situation, but if somebody is diving out of bounds, they don't want a timeout to be called as they're diving out of bounds.
This is a totally different
scenario. And so I think that has kind of bled over a little bit in the referees
just
to like
blur the lines
the lines for refs to like make the call that's right there, even if it's a one hand on the ball, two hands on the ball, whatever it is, just make the easy jump ball call instead of rewarding a timeout. And
I just think in that moment, in that situation, you got dudes hitting the floor, literally fighting for their tournament lives, for their season lives, and you just, I don't know. What else you got?
Listen, we've been going for 34 minutes. We're going to get out of here soon. So if you got any more,
just keep going with the comments.
No. I know. I'm just saying. I'm giving them a
heads up.
Last call.
Yeah, last call.
This is like last call at the bar.
It is 2 a.m. So last call for questions and comments because we got to drive 8 hours home tomorrow now, guys.
What do you think about this? Memphis just asked, enough possession arrow. This isn't pick up. Make them jump it up. Adopt the NBA rule. What are your thoughts on that?
I like it.
I love it.
I like it.
There's a lot of NBA rules that I would love to be adopted into the NCAA.
Yeah, let's not get into that because me and you talked about that for like an hour on.
We'll go for an hour on that. I loved it though. I love that.
But yes, yeah, I would much rather them jump it up. It's that possession arrow is just so luck.
It's so lame.
It's so luck in those scenarios. Like if Memphis has that possession arrow right then, they win the game. They win the game. But they just didn't.
They didn't have the possession arrow.
FAU had it, and so they get the ball. So yeah, jump them up. Screw the jump.
I hate the jump. I hate the possession arrow. So obviously we got to see for the second time only in the history of the NCAA tournament, number 1 seed get beat by a 16 seed right before that.
That was wild.
So you've got Purdue out, you got Arizona out, which is they're not a number 1, but you got Arizona out. Who else lost the last couple of days? Anybody? Who like big teams?
Like high seeds.
Virginia lost.
That's a 4, a 2, and a 1.
Right.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to win who do you think is, I know we're branding it, it's the second day, but what do you think?
I don't know. I mean UCLA. I didn't even get to look at any of the games tonight, so I don't even know who won. Kansas State. I mean, I picked K-State and UCLA in the final. That was my final, and they're both still in it. So I'll stick on that.
Let's go back to Memphis for 1 second.
Yeah, we're finna wrap this up, bro.
Yeah,
we still got stuff to do, and it's too.
We need one more question.
Okay.
This is it. Final call.
Is this from you or is this from the chat?
Chat.
Okay.
Who do you? I know we're literally are just coming down off the game, trying not.
It looks like there's one after that too. Ask me the rest of the questions that are on there right now, and I'll rapid fire them. And this is no more in the chat. No more questions in the chat.
Just 2 questions.
All right.
Who do you think is still on the team next year?
Who is still on the team next year?
Eligibility wise,
I would say Keontae comes back.
J-Law it has eligibility.
J-Law, Chandler.
Malcolm has one more. Keontae.
There's somebody that we're missing. Jaden.
No.
Yes, Jaden has one more.
Jaden has one more year. Ian Granja, Jamar Young.
I think that's about it.
Columbus is lit tonight, guys.
Fed's rolling through. I don't know. Keontae.
Yeah. I would suspect that.
Keontae, Jaden.
Yeah. There's going to be a few.
Malcolm.
Kind of like what happened last year with Penny, where there's going to be a few like, hey, we think you need to go find another place to play ball, and kids deciding to leave. And I think there's going to be a few of those.
I think it's going to be a really different roster.
It's going to be a really different roster, which is kind of par for the course for Penny's teams at this point. So I think we'll definitely see Keontae back.
Yeah. What you got?
Last one. You asked this question a few minutes ago. Do you think the Purdue loss played a role?
I mean, I don't know definitively, but I feel like it definitely could have. Like, if you're looking – because you're paying attention as a team in the NCAA tournament. You're paying attention to your region and what's going on.
I didn't see any TVs in the locker room tonight.
You don't think they knew?
I mean, I'm sure they knew.
But they got phones, bro. What are you talking about?
They got phones, bro.
They knew.
They got 2 phones.
No.
They
knew. And they knew if they won this game, they would play a 16 seed.
Right.
So I will never be able to say it definitively, but I think it definitely could have. I think it could have been like I'm saying, like, we're in the Sweet 16. Like, Sweet 16 is free.
Right.
And it wasn't.
All right.
Was there no more? Is that it?
There is one more.
All right. Let's knock it out. Real quick.
How does Malcolm have one more year of eligibility and Alo doesn't? They came in at the same time. They didn't come at the same time.
Alex came in a year earlier. 2018,
Alex. Malcolm came in 2019.
Yep.
So Malcolm is a senior and was redshirted.
Alex is a 5th year.
And Alex is a 5th year. Did Malcolm redshirt 2019 or he actually play? He actually played.
He played.
Yeah. So he's got one more year, a 5th year.
Yeah, 5th
the
year.
COVID year.
Yeah. They did not come in the same year. Alex came in with Tyler.
Right. Boom.
And Antoine Jones.
We done.
Wrap it. Yeah, let's wrap it real quick. Okay, guys. We appreciate y'all for rocking with us at 1 a.m. y'all's time, 2 a.m. our time. Sorry we can't be here longer giving coverage. Trust me, we wish we could be. We had plans for tomorrow with the off day, but those plans will not be coming to fruition. We'll be in the car for 8 hours tomorrow, heading back to Memphis. But no, we appreciate you guys for hanging out with us at this time for the weekend from last weekend. You guys are awesome. Love the support. And basketball season's over, so we're going to find creative ways to keep bringing you guys content, hanging out with y'all through these lives and whatever else, what other avenues. But follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, subscribe on YouTube. Please subscribe on YouTube. Keep pumping them numbers up. You guys have been doing a great job. It fires Kenny up when y'all subscribe on YouTube. Head over to bluffcitymedia.co. Check out everything we got over there. Sign up as an insider. And with that being said, we'll see y'all on Wednesday with On the Bluff.